I like pruning pistache because there's so many options to reduce back to. Let me show you what I mean. I'm being real specific with the cuts in where I want to reduce and raise the pistache. And when you look at it, you find that there's leaders with many branches on them. So there's plenty of options to reduce back to. So here's this leader right here, and I'm going to reduce it back to this branch. You find a lot more. See, in this, here's this long skinny branch that's in the way of the porch area. But look at that nice option it has to reduce back to. Right here, this nice little sprout that's on this leader, I can reduce it back to that. Remember when you make the cuts and you're using bypass loppers to have the blade side facing toward the trunk so that it doesn't crush the material that you're leaving. If you put the anvil side on the side facing the trunk, then you can get a lot of crushing of the bark of the part that you're cutting. So the idea I'm trying to show is that pistache trees give a lot of options. Like look at this particular branch. Where can I reduce it back to? It's got a nice branch here. It's got a branch here and here and here and here. So start small and take it back to the minimal like that. Is that enough? No, I think I could go just a little bit more. So I go just a little bit more. This is the concept of reduction cuts. That's taking leaders back to branches. That's how we make every single cut. Let every single cut you make be intentional and deliberate. Know the reason for every cut you make. So here's a reason I'm going to reduce this one here, because we want to keep it away from the porch. And it too has a lot of options. Look at this. Here's the leader, and on this leader is this branch and this branch. There's also this one and this one. So there's 4 options within a 1.5 feet that I can bring it back to. And I'm going to bring it back to the very first option, which I think is fine. It leaves a little bit of shade over the porch. I'd like to make the point that if right before I was pruning this pistache, someone came and clipped off all these little branches off of this leader, then it would have no options to reduce back to. So that's another reason why you shouldn't lion tail your trees, why you should nurture the inner crown, the inner portion of the tree, and not take branches off of leaders, because every branch that you take off of any leader is reducing your future options to reduce back to. Here's a nice one. Here's the leader, here's the branch. Cut the leader back to the branch. So that was a real nice reduction cut, taking this leader back to this branch. The resulting growth in this branch after this reduction cut is made is thickness and strength. So it could be said that when you take branches off of leaders, that causes weakness and length. And when you take a leader back to a branch, that's reduction, that causes thickness and strength. So another benefit of making reduction cuts is you don't have to prune the tree as frequently. Your frequency of pruning the tree decreases the more you actually make reduction cuts and not thinning cuts. Because when you make those reduction cuts, everything gets thicker and stronger, not weaker and longer, and even further into the places that you don't want it near. So we're getting it away from this porch. These cuts will probably last 1.5 to 2 years. And then the next time we do it, I bet we'll get 2 or 3 years out of it before we have to reduce it away from the porch again. Here's some nice options on this leader. Here's this leader here. Small option here and here, here and here. There's 4 options within maybe 1.5 to 2 feet. This same concept works for most any tree, especially mesquites and palo verdes. But what you find most of the time is on mesquites and palo verdes, they don't offer as many options. And then also, if the tree has been lion-tailed in the past, unfortunately, that has taken away future options to reduce back to.